No one's quite known what to make of this data we've had for decades, which is that various studies of, for instance, English poets in the 19th century or successful writers in America in the 20th century have found that these successful creators are much more likely to suffer from various forms of depression, particularly bipolar depression. And this cuts against, I think, one of the cliches of the artistic, the creative type, which is that the creative type is a little crazy. Maybe they're more likely to be schizophrenic or schizotypal. That turns out to not be the case at all. They're not crazier than the rest of us. They're just a little bit sadder than the rest of us. And no one's known how to understand this data, because there is this uncomfortable association with talking about possible benefits for these terrible, terrible mental illnesses. Bipolar depression is can be absolutely horrifying. You have these exhilarating highs and then these really, really awful lows. But one of the theories now, one of the speculations as to why these correlations exist, why various studies of successful creators, especially in the arts, suggest that they're anywhere between 7 to 40 times more likely to suffer from various forms of depression, is that the awful swings of manic depression. You get those exuberant highs, the manias, and then the low, low lows of the subsequent depression. That those swings echo the natural phases of the creative process. So sometimes we have these big epiphanies, these big ideas that come out of the blue, and it's so exciting, and they feel like ideas with tremendous promise. But even then, even our best ideas still need lots of work. We still have to go through draft after draft, revision after revision, endless iterations, the red pen on the page, and that isn't fun. And what the science suggests is that people who are sad, people who are melancholy, people who are moderately depressed, that they are better at the persistence and the perseverance, that they're more likely to go through draft after draft. So in a sense, perhaps the mania phase of bipolar depression, when you can't help but generate lots of ideas and write them all down, and it's so exciting. That's a necessary part of creativity. But then you also want the revision process that follows, and that's where being sad comes in handy. I think for so long we've always valorized happiness. We've always, the positive psychology movement, that happiness is a universal good, and it's always the best way to be. But it turns out that all our emotions come with cognitive benefits, that sadness makes us better able to stick with it.